All right, I am livid. But before we get there to that conversation that's going to come up, I have to talk about 3 games that I had initially talked about that ended up being washed because the videos didn't flow well enough together. I was actually really not happy with it. So we played Canmore a while ago at this point, but it's all fresh in my memory. We are good. If I need to, I've got notes. But we play Canmore. There's like 4 games left to go in the season. We whoop them. We don't whoop them, but we whoop them. Peppering them with shots. It was a great game. I think we won 2-1. But we peppered them with shots. We played our game. They wanted to do rough stuff at the end of the game, which was right before we went to play them again in their barn, which means I did not get to watch the third to last game, but we won that game too. And I did make a note. These are going to be really brief coverages, like the most important details to the game. Because I really want to get to what happened tonight. So in Canmore, they start doing stuff. I make the note of, on the air, I say, maybe they shouldn't be doing this. This does not work against us. We respond very well to the end of game shenanigans. It just fuels us. We go to their barn, we beat them again. So that gives us another 2 points on the standing. At that point, we had solidified our spot at the second seed in the division. Then we go on to play Calgary. We lose 6-5. And I was not thrilled in that game. And this game is going to come up again. So the Calgary Canucks, they show up. We do not. So for the first 2 periods of the game, this is why, by the way, I'm redoing this. Calgary shows up. Drumheller does not. Calgary peppers us with shots, with goals. They lead 6-2 at the end of 2. And we start rallying back. We get a third. We get a fourth. We get a fifth. We do not get a sixth. And that's because finally in the third period we showed up. We start rallying because our captain, who deserves the C, sparked the team to show up with 10 minutes left to go. And I had this whole thing, and this is why I say that I'm redoing this, because it does not line up in sequence. And maybe this it would have been the right move to just let it go and release it the way that it was initially intended to be released. But that game has a lot of impact as to what happened tonight. We go and we play Camrose. It's last game of the season. It's a home game. They're resting 12 guys. We've got all our guys out on the ice. We pepper them. 47 shots. We score 3 goals because their goaltender was playing lights out hockey. And, I mean, we should have won that game. There were chances for us to go up even more than 3 goals. But that was the game that was supposed to set the tone. We did a shoddy job of doing that. We played the game like it was the last game of the season and it didn't matter. At this point it didn't, but at the same time, if you're conditioning, you might as well go all out. And I mean, the shots were, 47, but they were perimeter shots. They were nothing to really sneeze at. And then we get to tonight. And the reason I'm livid. And the reason I decided to just scrap the other video idea and just do this all in one take. So that Calgary game, where the Canucks show up, and Drumheller does not until like 10 minutes are left in the game. That happened again in the most atrocious way it could have possibly happened. We did not show up to this game. Game 1 of the playoffs. Game 1 at home of the playoffs as the second seed over the third seed. Until the last 5 minutes. We score 1 goal. They score 2. The only reason they scored 2 is because our goaltender actually showed up. The defense kind of showed up. Not enough, but they kind of were there. Enough that it wasn't like 8-9-1. Couple shots ring off the post. That saves us a little bit. Front of net scrambles. The other team was good at hemming us in our zone, which I'll get to, but they weren't good enough at releasing the puck when they needed to. There were a couple times the net was wide open and the guy passes the puck. I kind of have to laugh in hindsight because that was the better team tonight. We go out, and it's the Calgary game all over again. We don't talk. We don't communicate. That's the same thing, Tim. We don't connect on passes. We don't pass to anyone. So what's happening? One of the Dragons will receive a puck. And they'll stand there. And they'll monitor the situation or scan their surroundings to try and figure out, what do we do now? And as he's standing there, he's not moving. So he's got the puck on his stick. His stick is lifted. Kodiak's have the puck and they turn around. They pass around a bunch of times and they try and take a shot. And it looks like it's going to go in. But thankfully our goaltender is there. And we keep it out. Great. Huzzah! And that kept happening over and over and over again. It kept happening where they would get the puck and they'd just stand there and do nothing. Not even menacingly. We just stood there. But it was worse. It was worse when we actually tried to do something because we would pass. Now they're playing a really aggressive forecheck, so they're really like right up in there. They're into the offensive zone, or I guess our defensive zone, and they're trying to get the puck off of our sticks because we're not moving. So we have to constantly play this really difficult game of keep away because this Kodiak's team, they're really good on the forecheck. Incredibly annoyingly good on the forecheck. They are just hemming our guys in. But we try and make a pass. And one of two things happens. One, it's a pass going towards another Dragon, which is great. You want that. It's a light pass. So it trickles up the ice. There's a Kodiak. He picks it up. And there he goes towards the net. The other thing that happens is we'll pass the puck. And there's no one at all in any vicinity of where the puck is going to. Hence why we need to talk more. Kodiak picks up the puck and they're off the other way. I have to laugh. I hadn't seen throughout the entire season a single instance of a penalty shot being awarded to a team. Well, we got that tonight. That came to us. That came to the Dragons. We had a chance to go up a goal, in which case we would have actually tied them near the end of the game. That's the whole thing. Because we ended up scoring one, thankfully, in the last 5 minutes. There was a player, I'm not going to name names because I don't feel like, I'm ripping into them. I'm not going to post their names for everyone to go and laugh at. But, player has the puck. He skates in. And he tries to outwit the goaltender. The goaltender is not budging. He's not budging. He pulls it to the forehand. Goaltender launches across, and this player, he doesn't even attempt to lift the puck. Smacks into the pad. It's done deal. That's your penalty shot. Now, granted, these are kids. It's not like an NHL game where these guys are getting paid millions of dollars to do whatever. That being said, these are kids that some of them have contracts with a league that is like a tier below the NHL as far as feeder teams go. So it's not like I'm antagonizing a U13 team or anything like that. These are guys that are looking to make a career out of this. Scouts are watching. And they probably watched this game where the Dragons did not play. That penalty shot is the summary of what this game was. It was lackluster. I managed to get a chance to talk right before the third period. Because I was all alone in the booth. My broadcast partner was off. He was talking to some other people. He kind of ran late. So I got to talk for a bit. And I ripped into the team and said what needed to be done. And then they came out for the third. Trevor, his broadcast partner, he comes up. He sits with me and we do our thing. And I'm getting more and more and more angry as the game continues. And funny enough, when the tide shifted and the Dragons started looking like the better team, I got even more angry. I didn't get more excited, I got more angry. Because you're telling me we score a goal. Score a well-earned goal. And we're excited. We've got like 2.5 minutes left to go. We're on the power play. We score a goal. And you're telling me that we could have been watching the team that's dominating like they are at this point. We could have been watching that for the full 60 minutes. You had it in you to play like that for the full 60 minutes, and you didn't. How am I supposed to feel anything but anger and frustration when you don't show up until the last 5 minutes and then you play lights out hockey and just show me like, oh no, it's not a bad night, you're just not here. You're not present. You're not ready for the playoffs at all. It's not like you're not mentally there. But you had the capability to be. You were able, because you showed in that last 5 minutes, you were able to play this kind of dominating game, and you didn't for 55 minutes. How am I supposed to feel happy that we scored a goal? I don't think I should be expected to feel happy about a goal at that point. So we got this game. This was game one, which for a lot of people maybe it doesn't really matter all that much. For once you start looking a bit deeper, maybe it's the same in the NHL. I know here, this is the game that sets the tone. This is the game that tells the other team what they should be expecting, and how X team is going to respond. Now it's the Dragons' turn to respond because we lost. Well, we showed the other team that we aren't here. We didn't show up. We are not ready for playoff hockey. That's what we showed the other team. We showed the other team that, oh, they can walk right over us. Now, they could absolutely go and completely get into their own heads, have the ego set way too high, and not expect what's coming at them tomorrow. That is, if the Dragons show up. But I don't think, and I'm sorry, I mean, I'm going to be very blunt on this. I don't think the Dragons are capable of playing 4D chess like that. So, we got game 2 tomorrow. I gotta bite my tongue on a couple things. I'm allowed to say a bit more on here because on here it's my own thing. I gotta figure out lighting out here because I can't be like this in my own in my house anymore. I don't have like a soundproof area, so shit. Noted for tomorrow. We're gonna have some lighting apparently because I didn't realize. Dang it. Okay, well, with that new discovery, I'm not restart. I gotta go to bed, so I'm sorry. We're sticking with this video. I got the points I wanted to get across tonight. Yeah, we got game 2 happening tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I hope I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also dreading it, knowing what we saw tonight. But I will be back for it. I know I had I had 4 separate videos per each game, including tonight's, all set up and ready to go. And then I'm watching them and I'm like, oh, this is not going to look good together. I would much rather just do it all over again, have the one take. It wasn't supposed to include tonight's game, but it ended up, I said, barring any surprises. Well, surprises happened, and here we are. So, yeah. But I'm going to try and be a bit more diligent and sacrifice a bit of sleep. A little bit, not much. I'm not doing too much. But we'll go from there. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support. Subscribe if you want to see more of the AJHL playoffs from the Dragons' perspective. Like this video if you... well, that's unfortunate. Okay, so I have a time limit. Huh. Maybe I'll just keep the car running. I don't know. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow for game 2. We'll sort it all out, lighting and everything. I'll get everything worked around. I gotta find a proper studio or place to do this, but in the meantime, this is what I got. I'll be back.